Actually, I take that back. There aren't as many studs here as I initially thought. A lot of it's surprisingly smooth, but unfortunately, there are quite a few stickered pieces, which isn't ideal. Printed pieces tend to hold up better over time, while stickers can start to degrade, especially with any kind of water-based cleaning that we do here. So we'll just have to be extra careful and make sure to wipe everything down thoroughly afterwards. Moving on to the section right behind the cockpit, there's a small corridor that connects to the main hull of the ship. There's some nice detailing on the top here. Jumping back to the sides of the cockpit, here we go with the studded portions. There's a bit of detailing here, nothing too complex, but it works. From a distance, it gives off that classic greebling effect, similar to what we see on the Imperial Star Destroyer. So we'll just take a pass here. As we continue along the main hull of the ship, this side section features smooth detailing with curved pieces. There's not much in terms of playability here, but as we move further down, we'll get to the guns and missile features. Carefully wiping everything down, especially after using the water, just to make sure there's no water spots left behind. Moving on to the guns on top of the Tantive IV, I have some mixed feelings about these playable features. They fire those red studs, which isn't nearly as bad as the older designs with those oversized missile rods, but still. I personally prefer elements that stay true to how they looked in the movies rather than focusing on playability, but I like this set regardless. As we move even further along the main hull, I think this section is one of my favorite parts of the set. The level of detailing here is great, and the rotating turrets are really well done. I don't think I've seen these particular pieces used so often, especially not as weapon elements, so it's a nice touch. The movement adds to the realism, and even though the details are small, they make a big difference. This area is pretty tricky to clean though. The electric duster and even the Dyson soft brush don't quite reach, so using the Q-tip is the best way to get into all those tight spaces. The other side is pretty much an exact carbon copy, so we'll repeat the process, getting the Q-tip into all the little studs. Fortunately, there aren't too many studded sections here. There's more greebling and fine detailing, along with a good amount of smooth pieces, which makes the cleaning process much easier. The Q-tip glides over them pretty well, so this part should go by pretty quickly. I think the sides of Star Wars ships are pretty well known for this kind of detailing. It's actually pretty similar to what you see on the UCS sets. Not exactly a dust magnet, but you never really know with dust. It has a way of settling into the most unexpected places. So we'll just take a quick pass with the Q-tip, though I imagine the duster already took care of most of it. Jumping a bit out of order here, but we're heading back to the top of the hull, which has a lot more of this kind of greebling detailing. You know what? I changed my mind. I think that this set is more similar to the UCS Y-Wing rather than the UCS Star Destroyer. Just with the level of intricate greebling here, it matches that set. And as always, using a microfiber cloth to make sure we don't leave any water spots behind. I'm not really sure what to call this rear portion here. I guess it's just another corridor-like section connecting the main hull to the rest of the ship. These two little pods on either side of the Tantive IV, I think they're escape pods, and they actually detach and can hold minifigures too. The little wings on the sides here are a nice detail as well. You wouldn't really hold the Tantive IV from there, which is probably for the best since they fall off pretty easily. If you watch the Star Destroyer video, you might notice an interesting contrast in this one. Instead of the ominous red lighting we used in that video, this time we're working with blue. Here's a top-down view of the same corridor section with the delicate wings. I actually forgot that the two on the sides can actually fold up. I don't think this is an intentional feature, it's just how they're mounted together, but it looks good either way. From this angle, we can also see the other side of the escape pod, which wasn't really visible before. And as always, we're following up with the microfiber cloth to make sure everything's clean. Luckily, these are all smooth pieces, so it's a pretty easy process. The Tantive IV's engines are easily the most iconic part of the set, in my opinion. It's the detail that makes the ship all instantly recognizable. I love that there are so many engines in the back, and this model really emphasizes their design, highlighting all 10 with intricate detailing. Honestly, if I could just display the set with just the engines facing forward, I probably would, because while the front is nice, the engines are definitely the standout feature. Cleaning them is a little bit tricky though. With all the tight spaces, it's much easier to rely on the duster rather than trying to get into every crevice with the Q-tip. From the side view, you can see the flat pieces on the bottom engines, which are thankfully pretty easy to clean. A quick pass with the microfiber cloth or duster typically does the trick. But the interior engines, the ones tucked further inside, are much of a different story. These require a lot more effort and alternative cleaning methods to really get into all the small spaces. We'll start making our way back to the other side of the Tantive IV, focusing on cleaning the same details. It's pretty much a mirror of the other side, so while, it can get a little bit repetitive, it's not too bad since the details are very similar. From this angle, we get a clearer view right behind the cockpit area. The smooth elements on the set really stand out, compared to the more angular designs of something like the Imperial Star Destroyer. Tantive IV has a much sleeker and streamlined look. This emphasis on smooth surfaces not only makes this model look great, but also makes it a hell of a lot easier to clean, which I'm definitely happy about. We did take a closer look at the rear corridor and the escape pods earlier, but I think it's worth revisiting this side for a better look. Like I mentioned, it's pretty much the same as the other side, so there's not a ton of variation. But I do love the detail on the fins here. They remind me more of a plane, and I think they give this ship an iconic and unique look. I know it's not necessary for space travel, no air resistance and all that, but I still appreciate the design. It's a nice touch. We reached the rear of the Tantive IV now, and we're focusing on the bottommost engines. These are easy enough to clean, but if you look closely, you'll notice the 3 engines in the middle. They're really difficult to reach with the Q-tip without disassembling the top portion of the set. So for now, we just rely on the electric duster, which we took care of earlier. Now let's flip the Tantive IV over so we can get to the rear engines. This will give us better access to clean the thrusters and make sure everything is dust-free. I don't think I mentioned this earlier, but at the very top here, there's a little handle that pops up, making it easier to carry this set. Repeating this from earlier, but this part of the set is definitely my favorite. Seeing all 10 of these engines arranged in such a unique 4-3-4 formation is just awesome. I haven't really seen any other ships or planes with this kind of design, so for me, when I first saw Star Wars, this was a part of the ship that really caught my attention. Just looks fantastic. Most of the other Tantive IV sets have similar thruster pieces, but this one really does that design justice. So thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe if you'd like to see more, and see you next time.